Do you know how many books there are in the Bible? If you said 66, you would be correct in referencing the canonized books of the Bible. But what if I told you that the current Christian Bible went through multiple changes, including excluding many books from its final draft? Like the Gospel of Thomas, for instance. And honestly, you don't really have to read too deep in it to see why. There was a part in this book where Thomas got completely hammered. Thomas said to him, "Master, my mouth is wholly incapable of saying whom you are like." Jesus said, "I am not your master. Because you have drunk, you have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out." And he took him and withdrew him and told him these three things. That is hilarious. Jesus was literally like, "Let's step outside real quick, buddy." Funny enough, this book is actually Buddhist in its form and nature at times. And I say funny enough because Thomas actually did a lot of his preachings in Asia. Another book that wasn't added was the Infancy Gospels of Thomas. And this book talks about the childhood of Jesus, which is pretty cool, right? None of the other books really do that. They kind of start at the manger story, skip ahead to when Mary and Joseph lost Jesus when he was like 12, and then they skip ahead to when Jesus is 29 years old. So why was this book left out? Probably because by the third chapter, 5-year-old Jesus kills somebody out of anger. And then in the next chapter, he does it again. And again. And again a couple more times. He does revive some of the people he kills though. Honestly, it was kind of uncomfortable to read at times. So yeah, it was considered heresy and the church said no ma'am. Then there's the books of Enoch, and I did say books because there are 3 books of Enoch. Enoch 1 was removed from both the Tanakh and the Christian Bible. And honestly, it's probably the most interesting out of the 3 of these. More interesting than Jesus being an alleged murderer at 5 years old. So the book of Enoch talks about a time right before the Noah story when angels came down and mated with humans, which gave birth to giants. These giants would end up wreaking havoc upon the earth. And these same angels, by the way, were the same ones who also taught their human wives about witchcraft and a whole bunch of other stuff that we were not supposed to learn about. Yeah, that book was a lot to take in. If you made it this far, this means that you like this kind of content and that you should check out my YouTube video I did talking about these books in more detail and giving my own personal opinions on them. And you should follow me on here for more historical facts.